Evening. God bless you all. Wanted to touch on a few things tonight. Give you a little bit of my testimony. We'll call this testimony part one because I could go into a lot of different testimonies of all the ways the Lord has delivered me because they are numerous. You know, one passage that the Lord provided me was in Hosea. For probably close to 25, 26, maybe even 28 years, I was horribly addicted to pornography. In fact, the pornography led to other things. As a man, I'm sure you can go with those imaginations what I'm talking about, but pornography so much turns into strip clubs, turns into internet watching, it turns into massage parlors, and I mean, you can go from there. And I was out of control for much of my life, and the only thing that finally set me free was Jesus Christ, and He provided the book of Hosea to really start driving it home. In the story of Hosea, God tells the prophet to marry a prostitute. She cheats on the prophet, and he divorces her. Then God commands him to find her, take her back, and pray for her lover, and pay her lover for her return. For many years, I read the book of Hosea. It never really occurred to me who the prostitute was. I always assumed that the girls I was with and the girls that I asked to leave that lifestyle and run away with me, they were the prostitute and I was the prophet. Well, let me read a little bit further. So I'm going to get to the juice of what helped me overcome this. In Hosea chapter 2, verse 19, I betroth you to me forever. Yes, I betroth you to me in righteousness and justice, in loving kindness and mercy. After I read this book, I understood the Lord was next to me in that bed as I gave myself to the demonic forces of pornography. I was the prostitute and he was the prophet. I, being convicted, could no longer grieve him and destroy myself by watching pornography. I struggled with her so many years until Jesus delivered me. Do I still lust? Of course I do. I'm a man. My eyes are drawn to beautiful women. It's just part about it. I'm a single man. Would I want to be married to a good Christian woman? Absolutely. So I wouldn't burn for my lust. Will I return to the strange woman and pornography? Well, praise God, I haven't yet, and God forbid it that I ever do. I encourage all of you that are struggling with this to read the whole book of Hosea and consider the allegory and the metaphors that are happening there. And then just to further drive home what pornography is, you have to understand, even though Proverbs 5 is against adultery, think about the spiritual adultery it takes for you to neglect God in that bed that you lay your head in at night. He's there with you. He's betrothed to you. Men, are you faithful to him? Are you as faithful to him as you are your wives? Anyway, let me read to you Proverbs 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Lend your ear to my understanding, that you may preserve discretion and your lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but in the end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lay hold of hell. Lest you ponder her path of life, her ways are unstable. You do not know them. Therefore, hear me now, my children. Do not depart from the word of my mouth. Remove your way far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others and your years to the cruel one, lest aliens be filled with your wealth and your labors go to a house of a foreigner. And you mourn at last when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin. In the midst of the assembly and congregation, drink water from your own cistern, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the street, let them be only your own, and not for foreigners, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a loving deer and a graceful doe, let her breasts satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. For those that don't know, I live in Los Angeles. So understand, I know what it is to battle lust. I know what it is to battle that. And the only victory we can have is when the Lord sanctifies us and we flee from that strange woman. God bless you, and may the Lord strengthen you in all that you do and bring you to a deeper understanding of his word and his will for your life. Till next time.